ready to talk about assessments. So I want to focus our attention with assessments on the purpose. Granted, we need to give grades, I understand that, but the purpose of assessments that I'd like to encourage for reading instruction is to monitor student progress towards mastery. Towards mastery. And the reason I say that is these skills are, again, the foundation of being able to read and comprehend, and therefore, they're the foundation of the student's entire education. So when we're teaching reading, I think it's very important to monitor their mastery of these skills, monitor their progress, and be sure that they actually are mastering them. Do what you can to provide support for those students who are missing some of those skills as we go. In Foundations, every 5th lesson is an assessment. And it will be assessing the skills that they learned in the prior lessons. And you will see a little chart at the beginning of each assessment telling you how well the student should have mastered that skill. So when you are grading, I would encourage you, if it says that this skill is new and they're not expected to master it, if it's on the assessment, I wouldn't weight that very much or at all. But there are skills that are labeled that they should be mastered, and those are the skills that are important to really track. Those assessments are in every 5th lesson of Foundations. There are also practice ideas. Based on what you discover from that assessment, there's references back into the lessons to re-practice games or reteach concepts if you find students need that. Starting in Foundations D, we do begin to measure fluency and comprehension as well. So there's a comprehension passage in each of the assessments. And with those comprehension passages, there are questions, and then there are also a measure of fluency. And there's 2 different ways to measure fluency. Some of you may be required to measure word per minute. That's fine, there's a scale there. But there's also the oral reading fluency scale that we discussed earlier in the training. On our website, and I believe there is a link in your training manual, there is an assessment checklist to monitor your students' progress through Foundations that you can print off. So Foundations B has a new assessment that just came out. And for some students, they're ready to begin, who are new completely to Logic of English, they're ready to begin Foundations B without having studied A, because they know most of the sounds of A through Z, they're decoding short vowel words, they're decoding words with consonant blends. If that is the case, and you think a student or a group of students might be ready to start in B and not in A, there is an assessment now on our website that you can provide to those students to determine if they should start in A or in B. And this is now broken off by skills. I think I referenced that Logic of English is working on developing a complete skills inventory for teaching reading. We have a draft of the systematic phonics skills as well that is right now just internal, but those skills are referenced in here, and there is an assessment for each of those skills, and then it will refer you to, no, that skill you really need to begin in A, or no, the student really is ready to begin with B. In Essentials, something that's really important to know is that at the beginning of Essentials, there's a placement test. And this placement test can help you know if you begin with the pre-lessons, because Essentials has a group of pre-lessons, or if you begin with Essentials Lesson 1. It will also help you determine if the student would be best in Foundation or in Essentials Level A, B, or C level lists. So that placement test is there for you. Then, at the end of each lesson, there is also an assessment, and that assessment is called Check Your Understanding, and it's there to assess the skills that they've been taught in that and in prior lessons. And in those Check Your Understandings, one of the things they'll be doing is dictation, and rather than just doing a list of spelling words, they will actually be given phrases or short sentences using only the words that were taught explicitly in spelling analysis. However, it will also combine other concepts that they've been learning. So if they've been learning grammar rules, if they've been learning comma rules, those will then show up in this. If they've been learning, say, quotation marks, those show up. So all of those skills get integrated together so that you're checking their spelling as well as the other concepts being taught. There's an example of that. There's also a phonogram check, so there's a number of sections where it's checking skills as well as the overall concepts taught. There's also assessment checklist for your classrooms that you can print out on our website so that you can track multiple students' progress through the assessments. Logic of English is also working, as I said, to develop a skills inventory, and there is a beginning draft of the phonemic awareness skills available for you online. And this website address will stay stable as we continue to update the concepts. So with phonemic awareness, we also have a set of assessments to assess each of those phonemic awareness skills. And as you assess those skills, it will tell you if you should continue on with the assessment or where you could go in either foundations or essentials to teach it. There's also some free activities that will be available. You can check that out. We are also working actively on a systematic phonics page like this. So please be watching for that. We really are serious at Logic of English about changing how reading is taught, and these are going to be free resources available to help people understand the skills that you've been learning this week that are needed for students to learn to read and spell well and to succeed. The standards are also included in your foundations books. Many of your state standards are actually closely related to the Common Core if they are not the Common Core. So there is a reference chart to those standards and where those are taught currently in the front of the foundations books.